Tyler.
Hi, Tyler, Holly.
Do you mind if we talk?
Please. I would love to talk to you. Are you
Here, I had a
kidding?
little something come through, so I'd love to chat.
I love it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Here you go.
Awesome. Off we go. Okay.
Have you ever done a reading in a kitchen?
I think it's probably going to be the first one.
I came tonight with my daughter. It's mother-daughter date night, and I'm excited to hang out with her. She is headed out of the country for her junior year in like a couple days, so we're trying to get in all of our bonding time.
Well, this looks like a good place as any other, so
Wow.
we'll do it here. It's unique. We've got rice and frijoles.
And I think I'm sitting on a bag of grain.
I think we are. I love it. Really, thank you for taking the time.
Are you kidding me? I feel like I won the lottery. This is just, I think I must have done something right to have had this opportunity.
Well, it's a privilege to be able to sit in front of you, and I totally recognize you. You have the most recognizable face. I just don't know your name. So what was your first name? It was
Holly.
Holly. Lovely to meet you, Holly.
You too.
All right, so what I'll do is I'll just kind of scribble. We'll see what I see, hear, and feel. As far as what I need from you, really, I just kind of like to get it all out, and then I'll ask you what makes sense and what doesn't. We'll go from there. So, okay. So as I'm connecting here, it's so sweet because, like, immediately as this is coming through, wow. Gotcha. Okay. Wow. I'm sweating, which is always a good sign of it's happening. The way I would describe this is immediately as I'm connecting, I immediately go to your dad's side of family, and I feel like I have to kind of go in that department. In the way this is coming through, this man's coming in. Feels like a father figure. And basically the deal is very matter of fact in the way that he comes through, very straight with me, very honest in the way he's coming across. But there's such a young spirit in the way that I would describe it. Like there's a feeling of like holding on to that youth, but I don't know if the physical situation this person was in allowed them to hold on to that youth. It's almost kind of like I'm still in here very much young and very much in the know, but something else physically isn't cooperating with this. And in that way, they're kind of acknowledging a decline. His medical situation was so complicated. He acknowledged some form of what I would look at as like a serious long-term condition. Something he was diagnosed with that was going to lead to a prolonged either issue with, it affects everything. So like think of full systematic disorder or a disease. Did he have one of those?
Yes.
Okay. With this, do you know of any M male names that come to mind?
Oh my goodness.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, yes. That is my dad, Matthew.
That's crazy.
His body was a prison. He had Parkinson's disease.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
My mom has always been very like emotionally attached. She always feels very like sentimental, and anytime like literally started a whole foundation off of the fact that he is Parkinson's. So she's very, very, very attached.
I don't know what this is. I'm trying to figure it out, and I'm seeing it symbolically. You're showing me just wanting to make clear, I'm seeing living in someone's shadow. If someone feels like they were living in a parent's shadow, there's just a feeling of like, someone did something in their own right. Like, there's just kind of this feeling of like, I had my legacy, you have your legacy.
I'm always trying to extend his legacy. He was an amazing man. My dad was the original Gordon on Sesame Street.
No way.
He started that program.
Wow.
And that was the beginning of his, the real launch of his career as a writer and producer and actor. He did not want me to be an actress.
There you go.
He was a real intellectual guy, and he worked on a show where he saw a lot of kid actors, and he was like, you're not gonna be that person.
Yep.
You're gonna go on and get straight A's and be a senator or something.
I need you to know in the way this comes through, he's putting like a big, they do this sometimes, he's putting a star around you. When they do that, it's always their way of acknowledging like intense pride, like, that's my girl, like, you're the one.
Well, that's cool.
So please know that. He's bringing up the very end. There's almost this feeling that someone wanted to see him and they weren't able to. He's bringing up this whole feeling of like, I want this person by my side, but they're not able to be by my side.
Well, the not being able to be there for sure is something that I
Is that something that weighs, right, gotcha. Because it comes in,
I
it's
live with it. It's the number one thing in my life that I'm not able to get past is not being there with him and getting a random phone call.
There's basically this feeling when they do this, it's always a way of trying to wipe it clean, basically acknowledging, like, let this go. It's okay. It's okay that we weren't able to have this.
I've been working on trying to let that go, and I've almost been actually kind of
holding on to it on purpose.
Yeah, right.
But I do want to let it go.
You bring up your life, your career. He didn't want you to have to put things on hold for him. And he's very insistent on that.
Yeah.
And so he views you as just obligated. Like, she's like, she has her obligations. It just keeps coming through. There's a feeling of like, it's okay. Let this go. You didn't need to be there in that last moment.
Okay.
Or in that moment. I feel like today, a big part of why we were meant to meet is to be able to let that go.
Yeah.
For Dad, because we all always want to have that goodbye. We want to hold their hand. We want to have that.
Yeah.
You know, I sit across from so many people who just wish they could have had that moment. It's so hard, but you know, I do find when they do come through, they want us to remember their lives.
Right.
So maybe in that way, it's your dad's way of saying, like, hey, I exist all around you. I'm connected to you through the legacy you've created for yourself and the life that you live and your family. So it's absolutely a part of that, no doubt.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. I hope that now that you have this, you can maybe move forward with
I do need to.
less guilt and not holding on to that, and maybe now embracing his life more.
Yeah.
You know, that's so much more than just...
This is so interesting. This is such a treat. I'm so happy. This is so cool.
My dad, there's a brother of his that was just my favorite guy. My Uncle Gene left us probably about 25 years ago. And I still have questions.
Of course. Okay, so it's going here, there. Yeah, but he's going through there. Give me 1 sec. Oh, wow. That's almost like... What is this? Yeah, brother. Poor brother. Poor guy.
Yeah, he had it bad.
There's something about, it's almost like he didn't let himself live fully, is the way I would describe it. He's like, he shot himself in the foot. Not literally, but kind of like, yeah.
There were always incidents where he had a chance and he would self-sabotage.
Yeah, it's frustrating. It feels like he tried. Like he tried. This isn't someone who just gave up and, I mean, it's like I do this and it just doesn't work. And I do that and it just doesn't work. It just felt like he was kept hitting a wall. There's something he's trying to bring up. Gene related to sister. Weird. For some reason, we talked about the incident with sister, and then when that happened, everything changed.
You know, there's my Aunt Sheila, who never met her, so I've just always wondered and heard the stories about her passing, about how, you know, she got scarlet fever. And scarlet fever at that time, in the 30s and 40s, was, you know, was really difficult. You could die from it. So the family took Sheila to the hospital, but the closest hospital was a whites-only hospital. And so the hospital, the colored hospital, was so far away that by the time they got her there, she passed away. And that basically was just the burden of that family. To have, if my brother, you know, today got scarlet fever, and a hospital would not treat him because of the color of his skin, that's just too deep. That impacted my Uncle Gene in such a negative way.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
They're having me talk about the parenting dynamics, and like parenting dynamics go out the window. Basically, when the incident happened with their sister, it's like parents out of the picture. We may as well raise ourselves emotionally because on some level there's like, it's like shut off is the way I would describe this.
That's it.
And there is a feeling of needing that love. So it's really interesting. Your dad, I think was able to kind of get through it, but the brother was a little bit more sensitive and needed that love and needed that communication. I don't think he got it from the way that he needed.
Yeah, that story always haunted me.
Of course. I
can't imagine being an 8-year-old child and losing my brother or sister because, you know, the white hospital wouldn't take her.
Yeah.
So, but again, I've never met her. She passed away long before I was born.
Right. And it's fascinating how a family member we've not met can have such an impact too on your dad, on his brother, and really on the family unit as a whole. When he comes through, I just want you to know his soul is so at peace and so good and so much freer than what he dealt with here in life.
Oh, that's awesome.
He's a lot happier on the other side when he comes through.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. You have such a beautiful energy. You sincerely
I do
have the most beautiful energy, and I mean it. I wouldn't tell you if I didn't.
Are you sure?
I promise.
You don't say that to everybody?
I swear. I swear. Like,
oh my goodness.
I'm really glad we met today.
I'm so glad we did too. I feel, well, feel like I'm gonna need some time to process all the information, but my initial feeling, my initial takeaway is one of relief and one of understanding, you know? My daughter's outside and she's a big fan.
Oh, I'd love to see her.
I would love it if you would say hi.
Oh my gosh, of course. You know it. Awesome.
This way?
Here we go. Oh, nice.
Hi, Ryan.
Hi, how's it going?
Ryan, Tyler, Ryan.
Hello.
Great to meet you.
Hi, how are you?
Were you watching it?
Oh my gosh.
Were you taking notes?
Yeah, I gotta.
Good.
Yes.
That's the
Because,
best.
you know, mommy doesn't, you know, I don't remember things like I used to.
Yeah.
Tyler's so eloquent with the way he articulates other people's emotions, and I think that's his true gift. It's one thing to be able to connect with spirits and people that are not here anymore, but to articulate those messages, he does it in a way that is just, it's remarkable.
You're so freaking like your gift is so special. Like I was like I'm not even kidding. Like I'm still just I can't even really formulate words because I'm just so in awe. Like
I didn't know what to expect, and I got some pretty amazing answers. I got to spend some time with my dad and my Uncle Gene. That was pretty cool.
That event really just had my head spinning. I mean, just the social interaction was so intense. Raised a ton of money for charity, but it definitely was a lot of energy. So that reading, I'm glad it happened, and I'm glad that it went well. And now I can rest.